for context, you understand what I'm talking about. You understand where I'm coming from, okay? So I saw this video on Twitter, right? This guy, this Eric Prince, I don't know, Eric Prince, talking some shit.
Then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough.
We are going to govern those countries if you are incapable of governing yourself, okay? Why should that matter to you? Why should you care that they cannot govern themselves? What is it in for you? What do you get from governing countries that you're saying cannot govern themselves? And what do you mean by they cannot govern themselves, right?
Done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
National security interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually making their country a better
People on the
land.
left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely.
He wants to colonize Africa again. A man who already has companies in Africa, mining in Africa, wants to colonize Africa because Africans cannot govern themselves. A man from a country, it's a first world country, yes. But when you compare it with other first world countries, its healthcare system broke, taxes looted, student loans too much, drugs epidemic, homelessness. But this is okay, it's a colonialist talking about colonizing Africa again. It's okay, no problem. He won't do it. Africans will fight, right? Africans do not want to be colonized again, right? Africans won't take this, right? I scrolled down to the comments and God was I heartbroken. Fuck. Africans, some on X, want to be colonized again, apparently. You see how dumb some listen to this. It's better we get colonized back by the white rather than the black of our own. Okay, what does that statement mean? What is he implying? The whites are better? Is he saying that the whites are superior than the black? Like it's better you have a white master than a black master? What are you saying with that statement? What is your brain thinking? When you see a white man, you assume he's superior than you? Somebody say, what an insult from the same people who install puppets. Exactly. You cannot have people, you cannot have embassies and presidents who you are friends with and then say they cannot govern themselves. And you give them orders to do things. Someone say, I can't fight for this corrupt government. Bro, they are not colonizing the government. They are colonizing us. They are colonizing the continent. They are colonizing the countries. They are not colonizing the government. In fact, if they colonize us, people in the government have enough money to go wherever they want. They will colonize us. We will become their slaves. They will be our masters. They are going to colonize us. They are coming for us, not the government. You are not fighting for the government. You're fighting for your own motherland. You're fighting for what your grandparents, if they did fight, or if they were like you. I understand. I very much understand. I actually an African saying, I actually agree. I can't colonize me again. I actually agree with his sentiments. What sentiments are you agreeing with? We cannot have 60 plus years of independence and we are still laying blame to the almighty Western man for pillaging our countries. Truth is, we have proved incapable of governing ourselves. Okay, who was governing you well then? You're saying before 1970s, Africans were being governed well? Or what is your point? Okay, you agree with what? Eh? We have proved incapable of governing ourselves. What do you mean? What do you mean? Who governed you well? Who is governing who well? Well, at what time during colonization you'd say you are being governed well? You do not know what. But he is right. In fact, a black person is a greedy person. See, a black person is a greedy person. A black person went to other countries to take their minerals from them because at that point they were more developed than them, went and took their minerals, colonized them for 40, 50 years plus. But they are the greedy ones. They are the... that's why there's so much poverty in black nations. I think Africa should have been better than it is today if you continue to be colonized. Just see how systems were working under Mzungu, from South Africa to Zimbabwe to Kenya. Okay. See, if we will be better, the Mzungus should be governing themselves better. You black people in SA are being profiled every day. They are being killed. They are being sent to prison every day. You're saying that if you are colonized, you will be better. Why is Liberia not better then? Why is Liberia not better? If the Mzungus can govern you better, why is Liberia not better? What the fuck are people like? Africans are incapable of governing themselves. You choose the leaders. You chose your leaders, bro. No one forced you to choose who you chose during elections, right? No one forced you. If you're saying who is governing, let's see the top white countries. USA is in shambles. UK is in shambles. France is in shambles. People are against their own government in all those countries. What do you mean they are governing themselves better? What do you mean with that? When you say, who are you comparing yourself to? Who are you comparing yourselves to? The only difference with them colonizing Africa again will be that they would not be dealing with our grandfathers who will them up so bad they will learn to learn. But this is the spirit. This is what you're talking about. Not people that no, yeah, just come colonize us because our own. Choose another government. You are not here when the Mzungus were governing or colonizing. You are not here. You do not know what was going on. You don't know how many people were killed then. You do not know what was taken from us then. So when you are saying they governed us better, what do you mean? He's 100% correct. What the? How? How is he 100% correct? In what way is he 100% correct? In what way is he 100% correct? If there is assassinations in their countries, how is he 100% correct? Why is there major division in every important issues in USA if their governance is so great? Is there any lie here? Really? I see no lie about time the continent gets recolonized. Do these people know what getting colonized mean? Getting colonized again. Why? Because of the government is corrupt, so we should get colonized again. Because they're going to colonize only the government. We will be safe. You won't be taken outside to work against your will, against your stand, against your cultural beliefs. You are forced to do what they want you to do. They have put this mindset to you that they are superior than you, so they are doing things better. They are not. They are not. You're saying Africa has been independent for 61 years. America has been independent for 500 years. England has been independent since forever. Who are you comparing us to? Exactly. Who are you comparing us to? Absolutely. What the fuck do you mean absolutely? Absolutely what? But he's saying the truth. What truth? Okay, our government, our politicians agreed, yeah. But you choose them over and over again. You choose them. You can decide to make your own constitution. Follow your own constitution. But he's speaking the truth. What truth, man? What truth? If you knew what's going on in those countries, in them countries, in their countries, if you knew what was going on, if you had inside information, do not watch movies and see how well New York is, how well LA is. Go see the other side of America. Go see the other side of France. See the homelessness in England right now. See the knife epidemic in England, the gun shooting in USA, and then you're saying you have good. What good governance do you have? What? One thing is true with the above video, your leaders are stealing left, right, center while wearing expensive Paris brands. Do you know you can make Africa a hub of well-reserved food in a month due to the favorable weather conditions? Yeah. Leaders are stealing, yes. But the Mzungu do not have any business with our leaders stealing from us. It's all our business. They have no business. What politicians are doing are wrong, yes, but it is not Mzungu's business to come and tell us that we should govern you because you are not capable of governing yourselves. We have countries which are doing great. We have countries in Africa which are doing great. It doesn't mean being a third world country after years of colonization, and the systems that were made, they were made to feed colonization system. They are made to feed colonialists. They are not meant to feed the people. Like, people had to restructure fresh. If you continue with what was there, it was helping the Mzungus. But you have to start fresh for only 60 years. Only 4 presidents. America has almost, I don't know, 100 presidents and plus. We have only 4. And you're comparing yourself to America because they can govern themselves while we cannot. What comparison? 90% of what he's saying is true. Most of Africa is incapable of governing itself. No benefits whatsoever to its people. How many countries in Africa are democratic countries? How many of them are democratic countries? How many countries in Europe or Western, those who you want them to colonize you, have no problems in their countries? Tell me one country with absolutely no political problems in their country. Trump almost got killed yesterday. You're saying that's good governance? Ati govern those countries kiwa na nani? Kusema tu kweli, our leaders are enabler of all this. He may be wrong, but politicians make us easier prey for the West because of the immorality. With good governance, everything should be accounted for. We are enablers. True. 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 He is absolutely right. I'll explain with a simple analogy. Okay. Let's hear the analogy. Let's hear the simple analogy. How he is absolutely right. Regarding the old slave trade, a father sells his young son to a slave master. When the kid grows up and understands this predicament, whom should he blame? His father who sold him or the master who bought him? He should blame the person who make it possible for people to buy people. Because if your father had no choice, not all slaves were being sold. Some were being taken by force. You either give your son or your families get killed. All of it. What analogy? If you make it possible for people to sell another people, for people to buy another people, so how can I buy another human being? Your father has been hungry for a week. He should sell you so that his other families can get food. He's a father of 5 or 7 or 10 or whatever. Sacrificing one child gives him food. You shouldn't blame your father. You should blame the person who enslaved your father, who made your father not be able to cultivate his own land without his permission. You should blame the person who took all the land and made your father a slave, or made your father have no choice than sell you. Because there are so many things to sell, but why you? Why you? Most African presidents are incapable of governing their countries and benefiting their people. Not only Africa, China. Well, two presidents in China are in jail for corruption. No one talks about that. USA is in shambles. Everything is, USA is going down. The dollar was going down the other day. USA has just enough reserves. But when you see USA people talking like this, you should know that the reserve is going down step by step. They need more, but they need more oil. USA has no oil. They need more oil. Where will they get from? People from Middle East, they don't fuck with USA anymore. Only Africans do. So they need your oil. By colonizing you, they get your oil for free of charge. They already do actually get your oil for free of charge. How are they better? When you talk about governance, when you say Africans are unable to govern themselves, who are you comparing us to? But what he says here is 100% correct. It's only what he says it in a language that irritates you. What do you mean language that irritates you? Colonizing Africa, it's a language. Is it English that irritates me? Is it colonizing Africa that irritates me? Is it Africans cannot govern themselves that irritates me? What language? What language? We have defenders. We have defenders here. I mean, what's the point of even having the minerals if we can't help ourselves with them? If we'll take being colonized a second time to drive sense into our leaders, not the leaders. They are not colonizing the leaders, bro. They are not colonizing the leaders. Putting sense into the leaders. They are not colonizing. If they colonize us today, the leaders will be fine as far. The leaders will be fine. The leaders will go. The leaders are their friends. The leaders will be paid to allow colonization to happen. The leader will be paid to stand up. The leaders will be fine, bro. The leaders won't be affected by colonization. Putting sense to, what do you mean putting sense to? You should be recognized to put sense to it. What do you mean? Recognized to put sense to leaders. What do you mean? Leaders need sense. What do you mean? Recognized to put sense, to drive sense to our leaders. What does that mean? We only have ourselves to blame. Yes. We should figure our own way of doing things. Yes. We should figure out a way to get ourselves out of this hole. Yes. But the Muzungu should not be involved at all. Actually, we should cut communications with the Muzungu. Do our things ourselves. That's why when China came to help Africans, USA and the Western and the IMF and the World Bank rushed in. You know why? Because they know you can empower yourselves without needing them. So they have to make themselves available for you to need them. Helping you out of loans with other loans. You see, when countries like USA or Britain are in recession, they pump money in the economy, right? They jumpstart the economy by pumping money into the economy. But when the exact same happens in Africa, they advise the leaders to cut funds to important things like health and education. What good governance are you talking about? They have. They know exactly what they're saying. They know exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what his point is. But it does not benefit you anyhow. Enough is enough. Those mining licenses have to be revoked. Yes. Yes. And proper audit conducted. Colonists are robbing the country. Yes, they do, even now. Those saying he's saying the truth should remember that Africans used to govern themselves very. Yes. Africans used to govern themselves very well before colonization. Actually, Africa was never conquered before colonization. No one was ever able to conquer Africa before colonization. USA was conquered. All those countries were Africa. They were not able to conquer Africa. They couldn't conquer Ethiopia. They couldn't colonize Ethiopia. Okay, so after divide, conquer, and rule, whatever people call it, then they colonized Africa and everything went down from there. It depends with what angle you're looking it up. If you're comparing yourself to USA, you cannot be the same level with a country which has been independent for 500 years. A country with a population of 300 million. If 75% of that country was dumb, and it is actually, only 25% will be able to rescue the country because of the numbers. That's why Nigeria is a rich country. It's in shambles, yes, but its GDP is growing, its economy is growing, its cities are growing because of the population. If you have 100 people and 90% of those are dumb, you'll have 10 smart people. But you have 10 people and 9 of those are dumb, 90% of those are dumb, you only have one smart person. It's as simple. A guy with an African name from Africa is saying he's spitting facts. What facts? Apart from what he says about colonizing us again, when he says what he says are facts, our governments are made of looters and corrupt people and we are unable to govern ourselves. This is true. All countries in the world have corrupt leaders. All countries in the world. None spared. It's just the will of the people to fight the corrupt. When Bangladesh, Egypt removes their presidents, when people say black man cannot rule, black man, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And this is what China, Russia are trying to tell Africans. You guys can do things on your own. You do not need USA, you do not need England, you do not need Germany, you do not need any NATO countries. You're not going to war anytime soon. We are not going to war anytime soon. And if you're going to war, then we are on the wrong side of... Oh, because... Yeah. China did it without USA. What's the country Kenyans use all the time? Singapore did it without USA. Angola is drowning in debt. Whose debt? The Western debt. Why do they give us debt? Why? Zambia right now, people are fighting for who gets what in Zambia. Who is fighting for those? The IMF. Where's the IMF headquartered? DC, Washington. Kenya is a friend of the USA. Who's the most corrupt person in Kenya that you know? Who is the friendliest person in the USA? USA is invading other countries left, right, center. What do you expect not to be invaded? Who are you to go tell other countries how to live there? You know, if they're in a crisis, who are you to go and say we are invading you before you invade us? If you guys want World War III, I know we Africans won't win, but USA won't win either. I'm sure of that. USA will not win either. Actually, I don't think anyone will win. But try. We shall see. Anyway, I was pissed off. I wanted you to be pissed off too. The way I was pissed off. Damn people on X talking. If you have nothing to say, just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. If you have nothing to say on Twitter, shut the fuck up, man. You don't have to say dumb shit to feel important, to feel smart, to feel you're against the government. Yes, the USA should yes, come colonize this government. No one colonizes a government. No one colonizes a government. No one colonizes a government. It's the loans that they are giving you with your land as collateral, with your public asset as collateral. They are making sure that you stay there where you are forever. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace be among you. And next time, if you have nothing to say on Twitter, next time if you have nothing to say on X, shut up. Bye.